Game ain't over. The sun is shining. And it ain't over.
You wanted the best, you got the best from my home studio on Long Island, New York. Welcome to Ian Scotto Rocks. I am your host, Ian Scotto, and unfortunately, we have some news that is certainly not the best. It's breaking at this point that I'm recording this, and it's definitely expected. It's definitely not unexpected when you think of the history of Puddle of Mudd frontman Wes Scantlin, and once again, for I don't know how many times, we'll get into it, Wes Scantlin has been arrested. So looking at the article here from TMZ, as you can see, Puddle of Mudd's Wes Scantlin arrested for alleged felony domestic violence and drugs. More legal issues for Puddle of Mudd's Wes Scantlin. Police arrested him after cops say he got physical with his girlfriend. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ police in Torrance, California received a call to an apartment around 3 a.m. Tuesday night for a fight. That video that you see below, I looked at it, that's just, I guess, a recent train wreck performance, of which there are many, of course. We're told when officers arrived, they talked to Wes and his girlfriend and determined the couple got into a verbal argument that at one point allegedly turned physical. Our sources say police saw visible marks on the woman's arms, and Wes was arrested. During a search of his person, we're told cops allegedly found a small amount of controlled substance. And this is a gallery of his mugshots. That's not a recent mugshot, but the fact is the guy has been arrested so many times. In the end, we're told Wes was booked for felony domestic violence and possession of a controlled substance. He's still in the LA County Jail with bail set at $90,000. The arrest comes after Wes was busted back in August after a traffic stop in Burbank turned into a tense standoff with SWAT. We reached out to reps for Wes. So far, no word back. So not only is this off of the arrest from a year ago, but you guys may have heard a week ago, there was yet another train wreck Puddle of Mudd performance, which he was confronted about. And I'm going to get into that because that's very recent as well. This is from the Sun, the U.S. Sun. Drug shock. U.S. rock icon reveals horrifying band feud as he accuses bandmate of drugging him before shit car crash performance. There's video of that, but it says Puddle of Mudd frontman Wes Scantlin claimed he was drugged by a bandmate after a car crash performance. The troubled rocker 52 addressed a poor performance during Daytona Bike Week, Florida, which allegedly resulted in the venue refusing to book the band again. And then it says he was quizzed about the gig by Rock Feet on the sidewalk the following day and admitted he sounded horrible before making a concerning claim. Okay, I saw that video. I don't believe it was from the guy that you know from Rock Feet. I think he just reposted it because it's definitely not him confronting Wes. Wes said, I suck, and I suck, but I was roofied. My old bass player Sean Salmon roofied me last night, so he can go fuck his ass. All right. That's definitely not at all what happened. There's no way that original member of Puddle of Mudd, Sean Salmon, roofied him. But this is kind of the cycle we've seen of the delusion of Wes Scantlin, who is suffering from some severe mental illness. It definitely seems on top of severe drug abuse. And then you hear the claims of domestic violence, which makes things worse. I mean, if you haven't kept up with what has been going on with Wes Scantlin, it's really sad to say, but it looks like there's, with the amount of years this has gone on, he may be the next dead rock star. And I would hate for that to happen, but it's very similar to what we saw with Scott Weiland and others. I mean, if you just look at his Wikipedia right here and you look at the arrests, it goes on and on and on. In March of 2002, Scantlin and his then fiancée, actress Michelle Rubin, were both arrested for allegations of domestic violence. Then we go to 2004. Scantlin admitted to the audience he was too intoxicated to continue after only 4 songs. All right, we've seen a lot of that, so that's not an arrest. But on September 24, 2007, Scantlin was banned from Graceland after entering an off-limits swimming pool. On December 11, 2011, Scantlin was pursued by the IRS for non-payment of back taxes in the region of $60,000. On April 4th, 2012, Scantlin was arrested for cocaine possession, driving under the influence, and driving without a license in Culver City, California. He agreed to attend rehab. In May of 2013, Scantlin was arrested on domestic violence charges after he allegedly dragged ex-wife Jessica Nicole Smith and pulled her by the arm or shirt. January 4th, 2014, Scantlin was sued by American Express for non-payment of debt. During a show at Trees, Dallas on April 16th, he threw a microphone and a beer into the audience, as well as appearing to threaten and attempt to physically attack members of the audience. On January 16th, 2015, Scantlin was arrested at Denver International Airport, also known as the New World Airport for any of you guys in the know. Joyride on a baggage carousel and entering a restricted area. And then he smashed his guitar, it says. August 5th, arrested for a DUI in South Dakota. Wow. In Sturgis, January 10th, 2016, Scantlin tried to re-enter the house he lost via foreclosure the previous year and was arrested for destroying property inside the residence. I remember there was video of that incident. April 2nd, he was arrested at his Los Angeles home. In February, during a concert, Scantlin berated the sound manager, threatened to call the Kansas City Mafia on him before ending the show early. On April 30th, Scantlin was arrested for missing a court date. August 16th, caught drinking just before a flight in Louisville, Kentucky, and was asked to leave. September 9th, 2017, Scantlin was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport after he tried to board a plane with a BB gun. His bail was set to $850,000. That's a big number. On February 20th, 2023, Scantlin was arrested for misdemeanor trespassing after again showing up to his former Hollywood home that he lost years earlier due to foreclosure. According to the present homeowner, he refused to leave when asked and threatened her maid, prompting the homeowner to call the police. He was initially held on $1,000 bail. Maybe that's the one there's video of. I mean, there's so many incidents, it's kind of natural you're going to mix up which is which. And then last we have here the one that we mentioned, August 3rd, 2024. Scantlin arrested in Burbank, California after being pulled over in his black Hummer H2 for a traffic violation. Officers said they found out Scantlin had an active warrant for a previous case for allegedly having a weapon at an airport. All right, we mentioned that before. So, I mean, geez, that is a rap sheet like no other. You know, I know people like to make jokes about like a lot of the rappers out there and their rap sheets. Wes Scantlin definitely rivals any of them, I would say. Now, this is actually close to me, believe it or not, because for one, I'm a big fan of Puddle of Mudd. Come Clean, I think, is a absolute classic of an album. I mean, everybody knows She Hates Me, Blurry, Drift and Die, Control. Those were the big songs. I mean, that's a banger of an album, right? Just 4 big songs right there. 2 legit mega hits, but start to finish, it's an amazing album. And I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves, partially because they never really recaptured that magic again. Not the last album they put out, but the album 2 albums ago, Welcome to Galvania. Which, what the fuck is Galvania? What a weird title for an album. But anyway, that last song on the album, I thought was really introspective. And I'm actually going to look at, it's called Slide Away or Slip Away. There you go. Slide Away, as you can see right there. Track 10 on Welcome to Galvania. Great song. You know, as I said, like very introspective. So I felt like he was turning over a new leaf, although he's always worked with a team of songwriters. So you never know. But here's my background with Puddle of Mudd. Some of you who know me previous to this channel may know I worked at SiriusXM. You may also know me from Soft Rep Radio and more recently Battle Line Podcast. At the time when I was doing Soft Rep Radio, I got the idea in my mind to do a documentary on Puddle of Mudd. Because, for one, I didn't want it to be exploitive, but we were seeing all of the train wreck performances, which you're looking at on screen, of Wes Scantlin like barely able to stand on stage and just passing out on stage. I mean, it was insane. I didn't want to do it to be exploitive, but what I wanted was maybe like a redemption story, because I felt like there was a way he could come back from that. And this was around, I'm going to say 2017-ish. And I got in touch with a bunch of former members of the band, and one of them has become a great friend of mine. And I'm hoping to actually go over his place, which I've been to, which has all of the Come Clean Platinum albums on the walls. He was an original member who didn't play on that album, but he did a lot of the writing for that album, so received a lot of the royalties and stuff. But I would love to do like a career retrospective of Puddle of Mudd. But anyway, at that time, I was trying to do a documentary. I don't really have the film background, so a guy named Ricky, who used to work at Gas Digital Network and worked with me at SiriusXM, pitched the idea of us doing a audio documentary for Gas Digital Network. And I interviewed one of the original members. I may have even interviewed some of the others, but one stands out to me. And we were going to make an audio documentary of it, but nothing ever happened. But we still remained friends. And I'm leaving his name out of this because as I texted him about this whole story, and just out of respect to him, I don't want to talk about like any inside stuff that he told me that's not being reported, which he did. So I'm going to leave it at that. However, about a year after that, I got to see Wes Scantlin and Puddle of Mudd with the new lineup play at a venue that is yet another venue that is a victim of the pandemic shutdown, Revolution in Amityville, New York. And he sounded great. The band sounded great. And I remember prior to going to the concert, I asked my friend Cher if she was going, who I haven't heard from in a while. Shout out to Cher if you're possibly watching this. And she was like, no way, I'm never going to see Puddle of Mudd again. The last time I saw them, Wes Scantlin just collapsed on stage, and like I'm not paying to see that again. And I remember at the time, I was like, he looks like he's doing better. You know, he looks like everything is great. And I tried to get an interview with him that night, but it just didn't happen. And it seemed like he was on the right path. He even made a joke to the audience that, I got arrested a few days ago. That really sucked. And I know from former members of the band that he had an ankle monitor on him at that time, and that's kind of what kept him in line. And he was doing really good for a while. That's around the time the Welcome to Galvania album did come out. And then old habits reemerged and fell off the wagon again. More and more incidents like this. And at some point, I mean, you either have to get clean or you're going to be the next Scott Weiland. And that is not what we want to see. But this guy's gotten so many second chances, and he's so talented. Like, I know that the worst performances of his are what go viral, but when he's on, he's on. And the songs that he's made that really did well, even beyond the Come Clean album, songs like Famous, and as I said, Slide Away from the Welcome to Galvania album, which also had a lot of really good songs. Undeniable. Like, he had a lot of Spin You Around, like a lot of really great songs that I think should be looked at as bigger classics than they are. I mean, look, I'm going to get possibly slammed in the comments for this one, but I will take that Come Clean album over anything by Nirvana. It might just be because we've all heard Smells Like Teen Spirit 9 million times and I never need to hear that song again. But I think Come Clean should be considered a classic. And unfortunately, his reputation is what's kept that album from being considered a classic. So anyway, one of the original members I spoke to said that members of the band are in touch with him. You know, guys that he accused of drugging him, which certainly did not happen, as I mentioned earlier. And they're really working to get him the help that he deserves, because one of them did say to me that this is not going to end well, he worries. And I worry that it's not going to end well. And I really thought we saw a redemption arc there for Wes Scantlin of Puddle of Mudd just a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years, but a little bit pre-COVID. And now it's just back to the same old habits. So prayers for Wes Scantlin, because I really do want to see him reemerge as the force in rock music that he can be. Let me know your thoughts below. And as always, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and you can check out this video right here if you want to binge watch more stuff from Ian Scotto Rocks. We do deep dives here. We do rock news like this and commentary, and you don't want to miss it.